When I think of the faithfulness of God through these years as City Life Church was birthed in the heart of San Francisco, I can't just help but just think this is a miracle. City Life Church was birthed in the heart of God, and He revealed it to me, to my wife, to our leadership team years ago, and He says, I'm doing a new thing in San Francisco, along with many wonderful ministries that have been serving here for so many years. God says, I'm about to do something new. And City Life was birthed in 2012 from very humble beginnings, but we had a word from the Lord that if we would just show up, that if we would do our part, God would do His part. So we went all in. And I remember just the first few weeks of launching our campus on 6th Street, looking around going, man, how is God going to fulfill the plans that He has for us? Who are we? And we began to just say, God, we're desperate for You, and unless You show up, we can't do this. But God always showed up, and He began to connect different ones to our church family, and we began to step out in faith, and God began to give us influence all throughout our community and beyond. And I remember one time someone said, Pastor, if we have to leave our building, would our neighborhood, would our community know that we've left? Have we made a difference? Would they know that we're gone? And I remember hearing those words and feeling so impacted by that. And Pastor Marquise would preach a message where he would say, we're not going to just talk about it, we're going to be about it. And that message was forged in my heart and my spirit, where I had this conviction in my heart as well, like, God, we're not going to just talk about it. We're not going to just show up and do a little thing on Sundays, but we want to be about Your business. We want to make a difference in our community. Regardless of our building, regardless of the facilities that we would use, God, we want to be the hands of Jesus. We want to be those that are an expression of heaven here on earth. So we began to just love on our community and think outside of the box and go beyond our church services on Sunday, and God began to give us a lot of favor. Pretty soon, the neighborhood noticed City Life is about it. And as the Lord would continue to grow us, eventually we would find ourselves having to move to a new location, and the Lord would open the doors for us to come to Bayshore Boulevard here in the Bayview of Bernal Heights. We began to rent a building and said, God, we're going to continue to be about it in this new community out here on the southeastern corner of the city, but reaching the entire city. And we continued to show up, and obviously God continued to show up as well. God continued to give us favor with schools and different organizations throughout our community and throughout the city. And pretty soon, the name, the reputation of City Life spread. The city began to ask us to help partner with them in serving our community. And we said, God, if You would just give us the opportunity, we'll do our best. And we know that we can't do this without You, but God continued to show up. And for the last 11 years now, we've seen the faithfulness of God flowing in and through this church family. And we find ourselves in a very unique season now. This year, 2023, God's given us the opportunity to do several significant things, along with sending teams to, for instance, mission trips to Cuba, or launching new Bible clubs on different school campuses here throughout the city. We were able earlier this year to actually purchase our building on Bayshore Boulevard. That here in San Francisco is miraculous. Very, very, very few churches own real estate. By the grace of God and because of Your generosity and a spirit of faith, we were able to purchase the building for $5.5 million, which is quite a large price tag, but with God, it's not too expensive. And that we had saved money for years, and we were able to position ourselves to make that investment. Along with that, of course, launching our East Bay campus in Walnut Creek with Pastors John and Maria, and happening this fall. It's incredible what God has done. We've been able to launch a successful campus in the East Bay where hundreds of people are coming to faith because we were willing to say yes to God and to make ourselves available. So City Life, our heritage continues to grow. Our legacy continues to grow. And we find ourselves in a season where we're saying, God, what's next? And God began to just speak to me and to the different pastors and leaders of our team to say, hey, believe big. I'm a big God. I've got more in store. We're believing that God's going to continue to help us to take more ground here in the city, to make a difference in more people's lives, to help people become fully alive in Jesus, to experience the presence of God up close and personal. There are countless, thousands upon thousands of people that are distant from God, and that's why we're here. That's why City Life exists. So I'm excited to announce this new campaign that we're stepping into. I told you, church family, months ago that I'd be coming to you to challenge you. More than me challenging you, I believe that God is challenging all of us to give Him our yes. to say, God, if you will show up, we'll do whatever you ask us to do. And I'm wanting to encourage our church family to embark on this Be About It campaign. Because talk, as Pastor Keys would say, is cheap. We're not just going to talk a big game. We're going to be about it. We're going to represent. We're going to show up. So we have 3 opportunities for our church to step in and to step forward into this new season. There are 3 goals that we have in mind that we're believing for. Number 1, we want to help secure our future here in the city. And that has to do with paying down the building that we've already began to purchase. We were able to get a great deal for the property. We had saved a lot of money to be able to put a big chunk down, but we don't want to have to keep paying mortgage payments for many, many more years. We want to pay that debt down as soon as possible. And the quicker we can pay that debt down, the more we'll be able to leverage finances and do more here in our city and beyond. The second thing we want to do is also strengthen our current ministries that we have in place right now. God continues to give us access. He continues to grant us favor with many different communities now through San Francisco. So we want to take our game to the next level. We want to help invest into more outreach opportunities along with our God Squad and our church family. We want to continue to reach more students, more kids, more middle schoolers, high schoolers, and college students here in San Francisco. So it's going to take more faith, more availability, more resources, more finances. We're also wanting to take our children's ministry, our kids' ministry to a whole nother level. So we're going to be investing heavily into updating and upgrading our downstairs space for all of our kids downstairs here at the Bayshore campus. So we're investing thousands of dollars to bring all of our classrooms to a whole nother level where kids will experience the presence of God in a very fun, bright, spacious place. We also have a very soft spot in our hearts for children with special needs. And we want to be one of those churches that families that have special kids, they can come to our church and say, you know what, they're going to take care of our kids. There's a safe place for our kids to come and learn about Jesus and be loved and protected and cared for. So we're going to invest significantly into our kids' classrooms and all the spaces related to children's ministry. So we want to continue to strengthen the ministries that God has already birthed through this house, and also believe for new ministries to be birthed. New outreach opportunities, new ways of equipping and training leaders in the house. With our leadership college and our school of ministry, we want to continue to empower Christians here in San Francisco and beyond to know Jesus personally and to experience the life that he offers. Along with that, we want to strategically advance, as God's spoken to our hearts, that he has big dreams for us. Not only are we launching our East Bay campus, and not only are we now affecting the East Bay, but in time, there's a call for us to reach more of the Bay Area. Our dream is to see several campuses all throughout the Bay Area. So even now, strategically, we need to position ourselves to expand and to grow. God spoke to us several times, including recently with some of our prophets that came to our prophetic summit, that this is a stretching season. But in the stretching, there is a greater launch. I believe that God is calling our church to give him our yes, to give God our yes. And I want to invite you personally to lean in with us as a church community, as a church family, saying, God, I give you my yes. Whatever it is that you're asking from me, from us, here we are. We make ourselves available. Pastor Elena and myself together, we've already been deciding we're going to give more this year financially. And it's a choice. It's a conviction. Generosity is always a choice. And we're saying we're going to up our game, even in the area of finances, and we're going to give more. Our family, our kids, we're inviting our kids, hey, let's be about it. Let's step into this new season with a spirit of faith, gratitude, and generosity. Let's go above and beyond. And I want to encourage you, church family, if this is your home church, I want to encourage you. Let's be about it together. What is it that God would speak to you about this next season? These next 2 years, we're going to be stretched, but with it, there's also the reward of partnering with God. And I've learned from personal experience that it is impossible to outgive God. So we're believing that God's going to use our house. We're not looking for resources from outside. We're looking for resources from within. Obviously, should the Lord choose to send resources and finances from outside, we're going to say, bring it. We accept it. But it's our responsibility as a church community to embrace the call, to seize the moment, to see what is ahead, and to say, with eyes of vision and possibility, if God be for us, who can be against us? So church family, let's not just talk about it. Let's be about it. Great days are ahead. Thank you for watching this video. God bless.